I was like, I wonder if Jonathan's gonna call, and I was like, I bet he's too depressed.
Not even that. I was just that too. Yeah, that was part of it. I was like done with football, and then I kind of like went through the motions to watch the games, but I also I was running around, man.
Hmm.
I was running around, man, just deal with all of this shit. But it's all good. Oh yeah, let me check this. Oh shit.
Do I have all of my? Hmm. Yeah. Okay.
It's not registering the soundboard.
Hmm.
The soundboard is not registering on this thing. If it's not one thing, it's always something. Shit. Something about this soundboard. It doesn't.
The fuck?
What the fuck is that?
What the flippity fuck?
I guess I gotta do this.
Yo, did you follow all that shit with your boy Ken coming after me for? And then Kirk Cousins throws 4 interceptions. I'm like, bitch.
Oh, did you say
I
something?
wrote him back. Yeah, I wrote him back. I said after the game was over, I said, you picked the wrong day to back Kirk Cousins. And he wrote me back. He said, yeah. He's like, I was just over here explaining to my friend that Kirk Cousins is making me look like an idiot.
I'm gonna see him next month. I'm going to Vegas. We're gonna have a reunion.
Nice.
It's gonna be fun, man. Those guys, I'm gonna be drinking a lot of whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys, man. All right, let's see if this worked. Yeah, there it is. Nice.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's do this. I gotta get popping. Welcome to SveNFL.
What's up, y'all?
It's a depressed Jonathan Rollins.
And a semi okay. I guess everything's fine. Skip and Sarah.
And we're two Americans living in Sweden talking about football.
Well,
that was
okay,
my
so
football weekend, man.
we know what you're depressed because heartbreaking scenario for your Miami Hurricanes getting bounced from the ACC championship game, and then your Dolphins didn't help you out either.
They lost first. They got that out the way.
Yeah, that's true.
They got that out the way, got the loss. I was like, well, the Hurricanes are not going to lose to Syracuse. And then they go up 21-0. I was ready to go to bed. And then just slowly once what's his name, our best wide receiver fumbles the ball, and it gets picked up for a touchdown. I was like,
oh, Restrepo. Yeah, I saw
Restrepo.
that. I was like, whew. Yeah, for me, I had mixed results. Obviously, we'll get to the Falcons game later. But my Bulldogs pulled out a 8 overtime victory versus Georgia Tech. The second longest game in college football history.
Wow.
They were only 1 overtime away from the longest game.
Jeez.
Craziness. So, yeah. Super crazy.
Congrats, man. Congrats. And then a bunch of teams, like the top of the thing got shaken up. Those college fans, y'all know, it's all shaken up.
Yes. However, everyone should know the best thing about this weekend is that we fucking threw down on Saturday and had our American Thanksgiving. Did we not?
Yeah. It was great, man. It was great. It was a good time.
Jonathan Rollins was the host this year. Had a nice
man.
little local kind of spot. Great space. What were we, like? Somewhere 35 people.
Yeah.
Grown-ups and kids and people who had known each other forever, but there was also some new blood, and there was just It was perfect, man. It's a perfect kind of Thanksgiving where you hang out with your chosen people
Yeah,
as opposed to the people you
you're
were,
stuck with.
contractually obligated to hang out with.
Yeah,
It is really kind of the best kind of Thanksgiving you could possibly have. And everybody came through with food.
yeah. Good
Everybody
food,
stuck
man.
everybody stuck their foot in it.
Yeah, a lot of foots and dishes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually I took a big old chunk of those greens that you made home in a little to go thing, and I just that's what I had for lunch on Sunday. I just had a
Yeah.
giant plate of greens and a little bit of stuffing, and yeah,
Yeah, yeah, the greens is banging, man.
so good.
They got me for the mac and cheese, man. All the mac and cheese, the one I made and then the one the other guy made, gone. So I didn't have any leftover mac, man. And that's my jam. Mac and cheese and greens is always my next day. So next time I'm gonna hide something
I'm gonna
about
tell
that.
you, my kids tried both of the mac and cheese
Mm.
dishes, uh, and they like by a wide margin
Oh yeah.
preferred your mac and cheese.
Thanks, man. I tell them I appreciate that. Uh, I didn't want to compare.
Mm.
It's not right.
But that's what we do here. We're here to
That's what we do.
compare things.
Yeah, I put my foot in the Mac too, man. I was mad it was gone, man. I think it was Marcus was the culprit. He took a big ass plate with him too, man.
That that
I should have
sounds
put
yeah.
something to the side for myself, man. Yeah, but it was
That sounds
good.
about right.
We got the spades game going.
Yep.
We had the dominoes going.
Yep.
They were playing some other game over there. I was like halfway through. I was like, "Yo, we need board games down there." I should have thought of that earlier. I went upstairs and grabbed a bunch of stuff.
I was playing Cards Against Humanity
Oh yeah, Cards Against Humanity.
with some of the kids. Um, had great conversations, kind of worked my way around the room, spoke
Yeah,
to
man.
everybody. Uh, your girl Catherine was really funny.
Yeah,
She
she's
was like
hilarious.
she was kind of tripping out because she got to meet my kids.
Yeah.
Uh, I think when she met Saga, she was like, "Oh my God, you're Skiff's daughter? Are you okay?" She was like, "How are you?" I was like, "Bitch, what are you talking about?"
Bitch, what's wrong with you?
They're well adjusted.
What's wrong with you?
This bitch.
I was like, "I'm the one that's fucked up. They're fine."
Yeah, man. It was a crazy weekend though, man. So football was good. It was like another. We had football on too. That was another thing. We had the college games on and stuff. We were listening to good music. It was a really good time. So this whole weekend was a fantastic weekend. I mean, it's got nothing to do with anything that we talk about here, but I also had my first podcast celebrated a 10-year. We had like a 10-year jubilee at
Dope.
in Teamon Theater, and it was really dope, man. 580 people celebrating us, man. It was dope as hell.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and I was twerking on stage and my knee's still sore, so it was that was a great time. Man.
That's a sad reality.
Yeah, so now we're back at it and get to talk about a very disappointing weekend. You know what? Halfway through these games, I was like, it's not so bad that the Dolphins lost because all the teams that are ahead of us in playoff race are gonna lose. Like halfway through the day on Sunday, the Chargers were down, the Colts were down, the Bengals were down. I was like, oh, that's not so bad. And then only the Bengals lost, and every other playoff team in the hunt fucking won. It's just like insult to injury, man.
I tell you what, with regards to the flip 'em and pick 'em, it was a rough start for me. You won
Yeah, I beat that
all
ass.
of the all of the first 6 games. I
Yeah.
was like, oh shit, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Speaking of disappointing uh, teams, we should just get started and
Yeah, let's
talk
go.
about these Thanksgiving games. Chicago Bears lose 20-23.
Bruh.
Okay, let's get a few things out of the way first. Is the first Thanksgiving win in like 7 years for the Lions?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, first time in franchise history that they've started the season 11-1. Great first half, terrible second half. Even more injuries to worry about. But honestly,
both teams were dropping like flies, man.
This game was crazy. Yeah, bro. It was just like every other play. But honestly, how the Bears managed to shit their pants at the end of this game.
It was a combination. It was like.
Yeah, exactly.
It was insane, man.
Because they played so well in the second half, right? They climbed back into this game.
Yep. Caleb looking good.
You know, and it's like one of those things that you dream about. It's Thanksgiving game. It's the fourth quarter. There's not a lot of time left. You need a 99-yard drive, right? Down by 3. Bears are moving down the field. They get it to like the Lions' 35-yard line.
Yeah.
Second and 20 because of a penalty that, and then Caleb takes the Matt Ryan special, the sack.
Man, I was yelling at my TV. Yeah. You would have thought I was a Bears fan. I was yelling at my TV like, throw the ball, throw it away, throw it up. You're really good at overthrowing. Overthrow. Throw it over somebody's head, man. And live to play another day. And then that sack, it also exposed a horrible coach.
Totally.
Like it was like that sack might have been the best thing for Caleb Williams' career. Because taking that sack and makes you lose the 2 sacks, that sack and then the coach getting sacked.
The scenario was so bizarre to watch, and you could hear it from the broadcast too. So he gets sacked. There's 33 seconds left on the clock when he gets
a timeout.
Sacked. They've got a timeout, but the clock just keeps ticking, right?
Insane.
They've decided to run a play, hoping obviously to get a little closer so they can bring out the field goal unit and send this thing to overtime. But it took them forever.
It's like Caleb Williams talked to every person that you could talk. He's like walked up and down the line. Let me talk to the wide receiver. Let me see what he talk about. Let me talk to the line judge, make sure everybody's lined up right. Let me talk to the running back, make sure he's lined up right. Let me make sure to get the protection right. It's like, damn, bro, time is ticking.
Yeah. 33 seconds left when he gets sacked. There's 6 seconds left on the clock when they snap the ball.
That's insane. And it's like, and for the first 25 seconds of the play clock, the coaches can talk to the quarterback in their head, in their helmet. So the last 15 seconds, that's on you. But they should be yelling in his head. Fucking, like, okay, here's a play, blah, 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 blah. It probably takes 4 seconds to get the play out or whatever. Then fucking snap the ball or spike the ball or whatever. That should be the last thing they're saying to him, I think.
I thought of this later on Sunday in the it was a minor moment that I never would have thought about had this not happened, but it was in the Steelers-Bengals game. I think it was the end of the first half. And the Steelers were in a similar situation where the clock was ticking and they looked like they were going to try to run a play, and Tomlin just said, it's not going to work. Timeout. Yep. He just hit the timeout.
Yep.
And there you go. There's a difference between a good coach and a bad coach. Because obviously, you know, that play was game over for the Bears. Also game over for Matt Eberflus, who, as you suggested the morning after, became the first Chicago Bears coach to ever be fired in season.
Oh, wow.
In Bears history.
Wow. Put that on your resume. I said, I mean, as soon as it happened, we were texting each other like, it's a wrap. There's no way you keep this guy. Like, he should have been fired before he got off the sidelines. Like, that was the worst situational coaching I've ever seen, I think.
Yeah.
Where everybody knows, like casual fans know, you know what I mean? Newcomers to the sport, people at the game, like everybody around knew that was bad. And it's insane that the one guy who needed to make the call did not. And you can't put it, and then to defend it in the press, like.
Yeah. He basically said in the post-game presser that he was
I'm leaving it up to
Caleb. He thought they handled the situation really well.
What's so wrong with it? I mean, this is a problem with everything. Everything. People just go to their corner and try to defend what they do, no matter what, no matter how wrong or right or whatever. And that's the problem with our sports, with our the bosses, you know what I mean, and our politics. Everybody is just going to, like, what's so wrong with saying I fucked up, I'll do better next time?
Yeah.
What happened to accountability, man? It's crazy.
I mean, it would have been a perfect spot for him to take accountability because there's no
Yeah.
way he was going to survive this season. Whether they fired him now or later, this was always going to happen. This graphic popped up the day after. Eberflus was during his time with the Bears, 5-9 in one-score games, and only 2-15 versus the NFC North.
Oh my God.
I mean, that you can't go 2-15 in
Nah,
your own division and keep your job. It's just not going to
the
happen.
fans don't like losing to rivals.
Mm-mm. So
Damn.
he gone.
He gone, and with good reason, man. We said before the season that he shouldn't have been back. So they
Yeah.
should be mad at themselves for even bringing him back, especially with Bill Belichick sitting at home and Mike Vrabel sitting at home and Lou Anarumo before the season. Lou Anarumo was a hot prospect. Ben Johnson, hot prospect. Imagine pairing Ben Johnson with Caleb Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Look what he did with golf.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have plenty of time in the offseason to talk about who's going to coach the Bears next year. There's been a lot of names floated already.
Yeah. It's a prestigious franchise.
It is. You got Cliff Kingsbury, who worked with Caleb Williams when he was at USC. So
But
there's that.
You don't want that.
But you're only going to get half a season out of him.
Yeah.
But
and you don't want Eberflus. Like, you shouldn't have wanted Eberflus. It's just
no. Speaking of things you don't want, how about New York Giants versus the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving? Didn't nobody want that? Didn't nobody need
They're just
that.
not gonna want that.
I mean, look, I don't even know how to talk about this game. It's like Rico Dowdle had a great game, 112 yards and a touchdown. They haven't been able to run the ball very well this year.
I was
so
shocked
that's great.
at them running the ball. Yeah.
Cowboys D played well.
When did Turpin become Devin Hester? What the fuck, man?
That dude is special.
They're kicking away from him like, It still didn't matter when he did touch it.
Everyone's freaking out on that spin move from last week.
Oh, man.
And even though they won, I mean, you know, they still only managed to beat the Drew Lock-led Giants by 7 points, right? I mean, Thanksgiving, they gave their fans their first home win of the season, but I don't know. You just have to forgive me if I'm not all that impressed. I don't really see
They're all beat up, and they don't have the quarterback either.
I'm just tired. I'm just tired of the Cowboys. Like, I'm just not here for it. I'm tired of the Cowboys. I'm disappointed in the Giants. I don't even really have a dog in either one of these fights, but I just think, like, of all the games that you could serve up on Thanksgiving, like, this one was just such a turd.
It was like it was a passing of the torch of the Lions as the you know what I'm saying. Lions are more America's team than the Cowboys right now.
Yeah, the Lions game used to be the one that you would avoid.
Yeah,
I guarantee you, everyone, you know, just tuned out for this one.
Yeah,
I saw part of it, but I was just like, I gotta go to bed.
I watched a bit of it, but then I had to take a nap to watch the next game. But let's move on to the Raiders and the Chiefs, man. What a game!
You don't want to talk about your Dolphins?
What is there to talk about, man?
I don't know.
I don't even.
We could talk about my man.
We could talk about me getting up
Walker getting that sack.
We could talk about me getting up at 2 a.m. to watch my team lose every time I do it. Why don't we talk about that? How dedicated fans come up and get up at 2 a.m. in Europe. Tua was balling, but it was like
True.
It was still. It felt like it took them too long to get going, and then it was too late. And
you couldn't run the ball.
Yeah, they couldn't get going. It was cold outside, and you're like, you can't run. And the Packers are a physical defense. And it just was like, just mounting up against the Dolphins. And then whenever they get momentum, it was too late.
This situation with Jon and Schif is really impressive. It's like week after week, this guy is balling out.
Yeah, they have a lot of other options, and it's opening it up for him. He's a beast too. So that's been good. But like, this was a game that could have really put Miami in a great position. And we might be on the outside looking in by the end of the season because of that. Even though this was the hardest game left on the schedule. So Miami could win out. and that'll be nice if they do. But now it's like it's no more. You got to hope another team loses. So yeah, it was. But the Packers. I mean, it wasn't even like they looked great. I mean, Jordan Love, he was balling though. I was annoyed. I was just really annoyed as I watched it. Just like,
yeah, it's rough. Well, at least you're not the Las Vegas Raiders.
Man. The lost Vegas Raiders. I mean, that was the easiest bet too. By the way, those that follow our betting journey on Patreon, you'll know that we did hit the Thanksgiving parlay.
We did.
And we said this was the easiest bet, that the Chiefs are not going to win by, what was it, 13?
12 and a half I think it was 12 and a half.
Whatever it was, they weren't going to, we were like, it's going to be a close game because the Chiefs play down to their competition, and they might not be. They're definitely not that 11-1. They don't merit that record.
So, once again, it comes down to the last snap of the game. This is 14 straight one-score victories for the Kansas City Chiefs. 14 straight. Going back to last year.
Work smarter, not harder, they said.
But this time it did not come from like a magical Mahomes type moment or a last-second field goal block. This time it came by way of the Raiders center, who snapped the ball as Aiden O'Connell was like just not even looking or ready at all. Down by 2, driving down the field, already on the doorstep of a chip shot field goal, and then boom, fumble. Chiefs recover. Game over.
Yeah.
Just
anticlimactic.
I mean, just
and then
idiotic.
They missed 2 field goals too.
Yeah.
So like it was like
rough day for the
Carlson, right? Swedish guy?
the semi-Swedish kicker.
He
missed 3 field goals.
Oh my God.
3 field goals. Yeah.
Ooh-wee. They should have won this game.
Yeah. I mean, the Raiders outplayed the Chiefs. I mean, they had over 100 more total yards. My man, former Bulldog Brock Bowers was going bananas. 140 yards receiving and a touchdown, making one-handed catches and shit.
Man, he was balling.
The Raiders haven't been able to run the ball all year, but all of a sudden they were kind of running through the Chiefs in the first half. They sacked Mahomes 5 times.
Yeah.
But yeah, they missed 3 field goals. And then they kind of, made that dumbass mistake at the end. But you kind of have to. Were you impressed by the Kelsey no-look lateral? I thought that was kind of dope.
Man, it was one of the best. It was the second best lateral of the week.
Which one was the first? You got to remind me.
That Buffalo Bills, man.
Oh shit! Yeah, I saw that this morning. That was crazy.
Impromptu, fucking. Oh man, they're fun. I know I'm supposed to hate them. I do, but they're still fun.
But you bring up a good point. There's something weird about the Chiefs right now. I think that I don't really see that. I don't consider them as having won this game. I feel like the Raiders just lost it. Yeah. But they just keep getting.
However, it looks
lucky.
like they got lucky, but they still have the best player. They have the best player in the league, Patrick Mahomes, and they've been there before. And it might be just complacent, but Isaiah Pacheco's back.
I love watching him run.
Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins is starting to get into the system a bit. They might be that team that just comes on. I mean, as they always do, come on when they need to come on.
They also announced this week that they're expecting Hollywood Brown to come back.
Look at that. So you got Hopkins, Kelsey, Noah Gray, who's been playing well, Xavier Worthy. And then in the background, there's you got Pacheco back, and then you got, look at the lineup, Smith-Schuster, and then you're gonna have Hollywood Brown.
Yeah, they may be just fine.
Kareem Hunt. I don't know, maybe not Kareem Hunt.
Well, let's move on to another team that also knows how to lose football games. The Atlanta Falcons lost.
I thought this was gonna be one. And it would help the Dolphins. And now the Chargers are 8-4.
Younghoe Koo missed yet another makeable kick early, and then Kirk Cousins said, "Hold my beer," while throwing 4 interceptions, one of
I
them a
was
pick six, blowing what was easily probably our best defensive
yep,
performance of the year. Multiple sacks, 5
yep.
sacks, I think, in
They
total.
they they shut down the Chargers. It showed that the Chargers aren't where they need to be yet. This was the game that was like exposed the Chargers as like they need to take another step offensively, and then you just blow it, man. I couldn't believe he kept throwing these, and then there was one that was batted down. It was gonna be a pick, but it got hit at the line when he threw it into. He was gonna throw it into 3 defenders. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
I mean, you look at the team stats and you can see like something obviously went wrong here. Offensive plays, Chargers had 46, Falcons had 77. Total yards, Chargers 187, Falcons 350. It's like it's got to be,
Yeah,
and
that's crazy.
I'm going to say this only because I know he's listening, but your boy Ken came at me on Facebook about
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins. I made some comments about how I would like to swap Baker Mayfield for Kirk Cousins.
He made
And
a
he came
well
at-
thought out like monologue.
He did, but
Posted the whole thing.
I don't know if I would call it well thought out. He made an impassioned. He made an impassioned, biased fan argument, whereas I'm coming at it from like my eyes see football and I don't like what I see.
Yeah.
These last couple of weeks. I mean, Kirk Cousins has not. Did he throw a touchdown in this game?
I thought he did. Didn't he throw one to No, not one.
Kirk Cousins has not thrown a touchdown in over a month.
Wow.
You go back and look at it. Motherfucker has not thrown a touchdown in over a month.
In a game where the Chargers offense scores 10 points, Herbert doesn't even throw a touchdown, and they still fucking lost. Wow.
So I already reached out to Ken. Ken came at me. I went back at him, and we agreed to disagree. And then before I went to bed last night, I was like, "You picked the wrong day to die on the Kirk Cousins hill. This motherfucker out here just like stepping on all the rakes."
Okay, but when as a coach do you put in this other quarterback?
I honestly don't know.
Like in this game, you can win this game. It's like he doesn't have it today. Is it? He's a veteran quarterback. I think he can come back from a benching. It's not like he's a fragile second-year quarterback. Sit his ass down. Bring in the backup dude. What's his name?
Penix.
Penix. Bring in Penix. Let Penix see what he's got. It can't be worse than what you got out there. Sometimes on sideline shots, I saw our guy Raheem Morris, and he looked out of his it was too big for him. Sometimes I would look at him, he just looked like, what's happening? He had an Eberflus looks sometimes.
Well, I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, to his credit, again, they got the defense playing really well in this game. Really well.
He's not a DC anymore.
I know.
He's not coordinating. It's like, make that call, man.
Honestly, I don't know. I agree with you. And I think it'd be, I would, it's hard. It'd be hard to bench Cousins in the middle of a game and bring in Penix. I think it would be more likely that they're like, okay, well, let's give this kid a shot in the next game or something. But
Guess what coach would have done it? Guess what coach would have done it?
Tell me.
Mike Tomlin. You think Mike Tomlin would have let Russ throw 4 interceptions and still be out there balling when you got Justin Fields on the sidelines?
No.
I don't know where Penix is at, but I think Penix could probably. It wouldn't be. I don't think the last play would have been another pick. I mean, and it should have been at least 5 interceptions this game too.
I was sitting there watching the game with Isak, and Falcons had the ball, a chance to go on a game-winning drive, and before the first snap of that drive, I turned to Isak and I said, "I think Cousins has got one more pick left in him." And sure enough,
that sucks. I mean, the last one, I can't blame him for the last one. It was 4th down.
No, but the end zone pick.
It's points off the board, man. It's so bad.
And most of those turnovers were in Chargers territory.
It's insane, man.
The pick six was like
Yeah.
I don't know if
That
they
dude
were in
ran
the
a
red
long
zone
way.
or
He ran like 70-some yards to get it, man.
they were either already in the red zone or just outside of the red zone. I mean, that's just like, I mean, that's,
He
yeah.
tried to throw.
And
That was another one. He threw another one that was late to the outside where they baited
Yep.
him to throw another one. And the receiver made a great play on that one to keep it from getting intercepted. It's like, he's not learning. That's when that play is when I'm like, you know what? He doesn't have it. Take his ass out the game, and the defense is balling.
Yeah.
And Penix could get you 2 field goals and win this game.
It would be very reactionary to bench Cousins for Penix, but it wouldn't. I know a lot of people would say you probably shouldn't do that. I don't have. I'm not calling for it.
No,
but it
now
wouldn't,
no, but in that game,
but it wouldn't bother me.
I'm out here like, if I'm the coach, I'm out here like, you know what? We need to win this game. We're 6-5 right now. We need to win this game. So let's. He don't have it today. We went and drafted this guy real early. Let's get this guy in and see if he can keep it. And then next game, we're back to Kirk. Sorry, you ain't got it today.
And again, I'm going to apologize in advance to your boy Ken because I'm going to take another shot at him because, on a day where Kirk Cousins throws 4 picks, he does not have his best game. He still can't figure out a way to win this game, even though it's up on a fucking platter for him in the second half. Baker Mayfield, who we'll talk about later, also did not have a very good game, but he still managed to figure out a way to fucking win the ball game in overtime. So it's like, I think what it is. I'm just saying, I think we know who won that argument.
Yeah.
Anyway, we can move on. It's not like anyone's keeping score. Let's see. Speaking of good coaches, you brought him up, Tomlin. 44-38.
Wins the game with his backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Wins the game with his backup quarterback, come in, slide. This game made it scary. It made it scary to be going up against the Steelers because they were like, oh, you found a way to crack our defense? Well, we're going to crack your head with our offense and put up 44 points.
I mean, these two teams nearly combined for 800 total yards.
Insane.
Russell Wilson threw for 414, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Burrow throws for 309, 3 touchdowns and a pick. The Bengals were in this one all the way to the end, but it just, they just got outgunned, man. And Russ with some of those passes down the line, like just
Mr. Unlimited, Rainbow Russ, baby.
He really, and Najee Harris looked good in this game too. I mean, I'm sorry, but I think I kept going back and forth. Like, are the Steelers I really think the Steelers are gonna win this division now.
Yeah. We're over here like, is it gonna be the Ravens? Is it gonna be the Bengals? We never even thought about the Steelers.
Well, the thing is that as you watch the season play out, it's like there's that thing in the back of your head that you just keep expecting the Ravens to kind of finish strong and take over the division, but they have such issues with consistency, which has not been a problem for the Steelers. The Steelers have been like shockingly consistent the whole season. And yeah, they've had a few mishaps here and there, but that happens to everybody. This is a fucking, I don't know. I don't know if I'd go so far as to call them like Super Bowl contenders, but at this point it's like I'm reluctant to bet against them no matter who they play.
To me, if they're putting up 44 points and then they could still hold you to 13, some teams, they could hold them to 13 points. You know what I mean? Then that's a scary team that could come out and lock your ass down. So, I don't know. If they stay healthy, then they're a problem. And the Bengals, they put up a fight, man. They scratched their eyes and like bit them, hit them with a brick, and just lost.
It'll be interesting to see how the Bengals play out the rest of the year because they're obviously, I mean, we've been a lot of people have been acting like the Bengals still had a chance. They've probably been done for a couple of weeks, but now I think they are officially done.
Yeah.
It's a wrap. it'd be interesting to see how they play out the rest of the year. I don't know. It's fair. They got the chance to play spoiler. I don't know whose party they could ruin, but
you know what? The party that needs to be ruined. It's time to reset. Give Joe Burrow a better coach. We'll talk about that at the end of the year. Yeah,
I agree. Let's see. Where are we at now? We're Cardinals
and the Vikings.
Cardinals and the Vikings. This was kind of an interesting game.
Yeah, well,
Cardinals,
it was fun.
Cardinals led for most of the game. It was real low scoring. They were handling the Vikings pretty well. But a late surge by Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
The Vikings managed to claw their way back. And Aaron Jones, who had some fumble issues in this one, finds a little redemption with the game-winning touchdown. This was a scrappy defensive battle.
Yeah, it felt like the Vikings, like something clicked in the beginning of the fourth quarter, and they were like, okay, they're not gonna score anymore. It just felt like the Cardinals could do nothing once the Vikings finally figured them out. Like they finally cracked the code. You could see like the swagger changed in the defense. It's like they knew what was up, and there was nothing the Cardinals could do.
Yeah. Yeah.
They just needed Sam Darnold to like wake up.
Mm-hmm. Totally. I mean, it was, it was at the end of the day, Kyler Murray threw a couple of picks, ill-advised.
Well, the last one was like
last one, yeah. The first one was pretty ugly. I just sort of lofted it up, I think, if I remember correctly.
It's almost like they miscommunicated. He was like running on the run. I think a lot of times he's too short, and it shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was like rolling to the left and just like lofted it up, but he thought he was throwing it to a space instead of a player, and there was a Vikings player in that space.
I mean, the Cardinals defense deserves a lot of credit for this game too. I mean, they managed to sack Sam Darnold 5 times.
Yeah.
It was a great performance. They did what they needed to do to win. They just couldn't do what they had to do in the fourth quarter, honestly. And they kept. I mean, they did a pretty good job of. First half Justin Jefferson did nothing.
Mm-mm.
He did eventually manage to wake up in the second half.
Yeah. In the end, that's all Darnold was throwing it to. It's like, you know what he said in the huddle.
Throw me the motherfucking ball.
But Marvin Harrison has some – man, that dude can catch that ball.
Yeah, he can.
His catch rate is nuts.
Him and Trey McBride, too. That guy, what a great tight end he is.
Yeah. They'll be all right, man. They shouldn't be so stressed.
I think the Cardinals should be really happy with – I mean, I don't think anybody expected the Cardinals to play this well.
I can't hear you.
All of a sudden, you can't hear me.
I don't hear you, bro.
Weird.
It popped and something went out.
Why? Oh, my God. For real?
You know what? I see it. Like your mic is working.
I see it on my end.
It's probably on my end. Can you hear me?
Ba-da-ba.
Test 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
okay,
can you hear me?
Yeah, it looks like we're back.
Okay. What were we talking
The last thing
about?
I heard was Trey McBride. We're talking about him.
Oh, I think I said. I mean, if I'm the Cardinals, I'm feeling pretty good about my year so far. I don't think anybody expected them to be this good.
No.
Maybe next year.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they could theoretically still make the playoffs, but I don't know. I just think they're having a way better year than anybody.
Yeah, they're ahead of
anticipated.
schedule, man. They're like the Chargers, ahead of schedule, outperforming, and it's gonna get people's hopes up for next year. So they just gotta, keep that pressure on. Be all right. And Vikings are playing. They're punching above their weight, and nobody expected them to be 10-2 and still fighting for that division. So kudos to them.
Speaking of ahead of schedule, did you see Drake May this weekend in a loss? I mean, I know he lost the game, but
Again,
my goodness, this
yeah,
young man is
the
so
knob
talented.
slobbing is so annoying.
It got me. You know what got me pissed off in this game was that there was a play where Drake May, bailed out of the pocket and went for like a 30 or 40-yard run, and all of a sudden they started
Bruh.
talking about.
It's average.
No, they started talking. Well, not since Michael Vick.
Vick. Get the fuck out of here. Blasphemy.
Keep Michael Vick's name out of your mouth.
Blasphemy, man.
What's wrong with you? Hell no. To the no.
Like that dude, Michael Vick was he's a game changing. Like he changed the position of quarterback.
I was like, I don't give a fuck what the numbers say. Do not compare Drake May to Michael Vick.
Especially with such a small sample size. He played 8 games. He's had some big runs against a man defense, and his average of 8.7 is high. Yes, of course. And it's going to be harder since the 40-yard run. Yeah, but let's not be stupid and act like we're blind. Like, I got so mad at that shit, man.
Yeah, I was pissed when I heard that.
What's up? Come on, man. They need to stop. They're just throwing shit out there just to talk about how great. We get it. It's a big market team. It's good for the league if that team is good. We get it. You went so long with a shitty Jets team that you understand it's possible that a big market team can be shitty. All right, and they're not shitty.
Yeah.
They're not even shitty. So I was so mad at that. I'm glad you brought that up.
That being said, this was kind of a fun game. It was like
really
blow
fun.
For blow. These two teams were kind of going after each other.
I needed this. I needed the Patriots to win this game. And, of course, Shane Steichen pulled it out, showed how big it is by going for 2 in the last 20 seconds or whatever it was. And then Drake May, with that thunderous arm, magical running skills, couldn't get the final score.
This is like the perfect Anthony Richardson stat line. 12 for 24, 109 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and the game-winning 2-point conversion. That's
exactly.
Like that's what you signed up for, Colts
fans.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's
it's like that's the team that shouldn't be. I understand being excited about Drake May as a Patriots fan. I do not understand being excited about Anthony Richardson, who's going to get your heart broken because he's so limited as a quarterback.
Yeah, I don't mean like. To me, when I watch Drake May, I see a real quarterback.
Right.
I see a quarterback who looks like the kind of QB who's just going to get better year after year as he develops.
Yeah.
So
and
he's great for them.
And for this era, like it's this era type of quarterback where like he's mobile, like he's not just stuck in the pocket. He can move. He's not the fastest guy. He's not the most, athletic, but he's athletic enough that it's an advantage for you if he gets out in the open field. So it's like,
yeah,
it's great, and he can throw the ball. He can throw all of the passes. It looks like, or at least most of them for now. And as you said, he's going to get better. So be excited about that. I would not be excited if I was a Colts fan about him.
No, yeah, you won the game, but just no.
Would you be excited about if your quarterback was Aaron Rodgers?
No, I would not be excited about that at all.
Oh man, I got so much joy out of this game.
This was great. I mean,
it was joyous.
The Jets looked really, really good.
Yeah, they did.
Early in the game.
Yeah, man.
But I'm telling you, bro, you cannot fuck with Geno Smith. Don't come out here and act like because you dropped 14 points on the Seahawks in the first quarter that Geno is just going to go, oh, well, I guess it's just not our day. I mean, Geno's is going to fucking come back and he's gonna show you how fucking big it is. That's what he's gonna do.
You ever watch one of those movies about like Christmas, and they go to a cabin, and they're outside, and it's like they're skiing and all this stuff, and then They come in from outside. And that feeling when they get their hot cocoa and their coffee and they've been outside and then they get around a campfire and they drink this nice warm beverage and it warms the inside of their body and you're just watching it and you see the snow falling on the outside of the window and you're just like, man, this is the coziest feeling one can have. That's how I felt watching the Jets lose this game. Come from behind loss. No, it's a come from ahead loss. That's what I'm gonna start calling it. A come from ahead loss.
Yeah.
It's just so great that they lost this game. It just felt so mwah.
Yeah, especially considering it's like, they're coming off of their bye week.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
They start the game in like dominant fashion.
Yeah.
I mean, that part of the reason why they were able to go up so quickly was because the Seahawks had some pretty serious turnover issues in the first quarter. They fumbled didn't they fumble the kickoff right after the Jets scored a touchdown?
Yep.
So that kind of put them behind the 8 ball. But then the Seahawks kind of slowly started to grind this one out.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks in part primarily to, guys like Zach Charbonnet I mean, he was the one who scored the game-winning touchdown, obviously. Yeah. This Jackson Smith-Njigba is quietly kind of one of the best receivers in football right now, and not many people talk about him.
Yeah.
4 targets, 4 receptions, 74 yards. He's week after week. He is essentially, everyone's going to try to double team DK Metcalf, and and Jigba's just been out here balling week after week.
They have a really good receiver core because Noah Fant, he's nothing to sniff at either, and then Tyler Lockett. It's like they got 4 studs as pass catchers.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
And Kenneth Walker, he didn't have a great day, but he's one of my favorite running backs. Just his style of running, I like.
Yeah, I love me some K9. I'm here for it.
I don't know if I mentioned that, but I hate the Jets, so just have to throw that back out there. Aaron Rodgers, 21 for 39, 185 yards. But you can see him clicking with Devontae Adams. You can see him clicking with him, even though that last one, I mean, there was a big throw, and it went right there, but Devontae Adams dropped the point of the ball, hit the ground, and all of that stuff. So that's even better for me. It was like an extra sugar in the hot chocolate. That when they think they got it, and then you're like, oh no, they didn't. No. Oh, what down was that? Was that 4th down? Oh.
Yeah, this was a very funny loss for the Jets because they're so bad, but they behave like they're so entitled.
Yes, entitled. They took on the personality of the quarterback.
They did, but this was not even close to the funniest game of the week. Because in my opinion, the Titans losing to the Washington Commanders 19-42, weird scoreline.
Yeah.
The Commanders scored 4 straight they scored touchdowns on their first 4 drives, helped tremendously by the Titans special teams fumbling the ball on back-to-back kickoffs. The Commanders were up 21-0 at the end of the first quarter. Oh man. Yeah. I mean, the team,
and then they score on their first 4 drives.
Yeah, exactly.
I just kept scoring. Oof.
The time of possession, Titans 20 minutes, Commanders 40 minutes. Offensive plays were 50-77. They doubled them up in total yards. They scored 6 touchdowns before it was all said and done. Jaden Daniels looked great. Turns out the one thing that, just does not apply for the Kingsbury Cliff is the Tennessee Titans. Ain't nobody going to lose to that. I mean, they just absolutely pummeled the Titans.
Will Levis income on 18 for 37? That's what, 45%, something like that? That's disgusting.
Yeah.
That's disgusting, man.
That is
one
pretty
thing
gross.
he should be is efficient at the very least.
Pollard also had a lost fumble at one point.
Yeah, man.
So they just had, it was a hot mess all the way around. Brian Robinson Jr., this motherfucker, he was just, carving his way through the Titans like a hot knife through butter.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just like untouched, just
like a hot bullet through a kneecap.
And the other receiver that doesn't get talked about a lot because he plays for the Tennessee Titans, Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. Did you hear what they were saying about this guy? This guy has had
most of his catches are touchdowns.
He's had like 10 catches all year, and like 8 of them are touchdowns.
He had 3 yesterday, 2 touchdowns.
It's crazy. It makes no sense. 8 targets.
That's when you have a gunslinging ass quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man, speaking of gunslinging, if I were Trevor Lawrence, I'd bring a gun with me the next time I go out. The way that he got hit, man, that was fucked.
Bro, that was crazy.
Another game I was interested in.
What was his name? What's that guy's name?
The guy who hit him? Oh, he's in my notes.
That guy lost his fucking mind.
He lost his goddamn mind. It was something. Aziz Al-Shahir.
Oh yeah.
He
obviously he hits T-Law. T-Law's going down for the slide, and this guy just
forearm to the face, head to the ground. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
And then it turns into like, I mean, it was like a football game turned into a hockey game. It was like a bench clearing brawl. Like, it went bananas.
It was warranted, I thought. Like,
for sure. I was like, this is exactly what should happen.
Yeah, you don't do some shit like that and then like get mad. Like, I would have. I mean, and then you could tell he was concerned about it once his adrenaline probably calmed down. He seemed concerned about Lawrence, or was at least trying to show he was concerned. But just get the fuck D'Amico had to come out there and be like, get the fuck off the field. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro,
I saw that.
Your fault. Get off the field. Go to the locker room because they're gonna kick you out. Like, they protect the quarterback for a reason. It was just horrible. And then it was like, because of that, we're gonna have.
Oh my God!
Come on!
Hey, you make fun of him, but Mac Jones, 20 for 32,
more on that later.
235, 2 touchdowns.
More on that later.
MVP? The real MVP?
You the real MVP.
He was out there balling. He tried to win this game.
Hey, he came in there and he did his job. But I think the big difference between these two teams, the Texans, to me, I mean, I don't even care if they make the playoffs. It doesn't matter. Like, they're out in the first round. They're not a real team this year. The smartest thing the Texans did this year was going out and getting Joe Mixon.
He's fun.
Because week after week, this guy, to me, he's the reason why they win this ball game.
Yeah. Especially when they needed one stop. That's the worst. We just need one stop, and then just run everybody over. Okay. Well, all right, we got some timeouts. We need just one more stop. Boom, boom, first down.
Also, this much talked about receiver core going into the league.
Yeah, in the season.
You know, thinking about the way they ended the year last year, where you had Nico Collins, you had Tank Dell, and it was like people were talking about them like it was like, oh, it's like 1A and 1B. Like, they've got 2 number 1 wide receivers. Yeah. But so far, Tank Dell has not done dick this year.
No, he's had a rough one.
Nico Collins is still balling, but I don't know what's going on with Tank Dell, but he just 4 targets, 1 reception for 23 yards. I mean, he's been terrible this year.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's him or if it's just that CJ Stroud, like we've been talking about his sophomore slump all year. Like, I don't know what's going on with them, but they are not the team that we thought they were going to be coming into this year.
But still, they're ahead of schedule, too. They're another team that's just like, they way overperformed last year and didn't catch anybody by surprise this year. So next year, we'll see. It'll be a nice, they got the core that they need. And they've had some injuries to deal with and stuff like that. So we'll see, man. Jacksonville, I wanted to see what Doug Peterson said about that hit because that shit bothered me a lot. And then you got a big fight like that. So I like to see what the coaches say after that. And the thing that interested me a lot about his press conference was one of the questions was about a staff member that took a job at like a college or something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
they know he's done. It's just like, hey, you're such and such is gonna go to, and he has to answer that question because the elephant in the room is you're gonna get fired at the end of the year. Your coach took a job at another place. That means everybody knows you're done.
Mm.
It was just like I just laughed at that.
Yeah.
He's done. Are the Saints done?
Well, hopefully. Hopefully. This was an interesting game. I felt like the Saints kind of played a better first half.
Yes.
But their problem was,
In
when
the
you
end
go
zone.
through when you go through the stats, like it's pretty even in just about every category, to be honest. Obviously the run game, Kieran Williams had a great day. So did Alvin Kamara. But the big difference was the Saints were, I think, 0 for 3 in the red zone.
Oh shit.
Which,
Gotta do it. What, Taysom
you
Hill
got it.
couldn't solve their problems?
Apparently not. Apparently not. You know, these are two teams that are kind of hard to figure out. They're both very inconsistent. At the end of the day, my man, former Bulldog Matthew Stafford, you can come for him, but it doesn't matter. He's going to figure out a way to pick you apart. They didn't play a great first half, but then they got it cooking in the second half. Suddenly he's throwing touchdowns to Puka Nacua.
Mm-hmm.
Threw one to Demarcus Robinson. Got Kieran Williams a couple of balls too. I mean, it's like if you can move the ball into the red zone, but you can't score touchdowns, you're not going to win the fucking football game.
Right.
And the Saints are one of these weird teams that it's like, we're either going to score 50 points or we're going to score 14 points. There's like almost no in between with them. It's like, it's a very strange football team.
I feel like they're in like a weird state of limbo, man. So I mean, with a 4-8 record this time of the year, it's like, okay, let's start looking at the future, what this team is gonna do, and they seem like they're in no man's land when you look at the roster and stuff.
Some would say it's their salary cap situation.
At some time, you gotta stop kicking that can.
Yeah.
Speaking of cans, the tomato can known as the Carolina Panthers are still putting up fights, man.
You know what? They've been getting better week after week.
Yeah, they have. They're peaking. They're peaking.
I watched the first half of this game and felt I went to bed feeling pretty hopeful, actually. I really, considering the way the Falcons played, Carolina winning this game would have been a huge favor to the Falcons. But Baker's going to Baker. You can come for him and you can fucking knock him down. They knocked him out of the game at one point. He got injured. He came back.
He's like Wolverine, man.
Led them back to tie up the game, and then took it to overtime, and sneaked out of there with the dub, which is, some might say is the difference between, a quarterback who plays with some grit and some gusto and a quarterback who can't fucking move more than 2 or 3 feet to his left or his right. I don't know.
You like that? You like that?
I don't know. It's just there are people who have a difference of opinion about the way quarterbacks play. I don't know.
And sometimes we heard from White Gino himself. He said
they wrote me off. I ain't right back though.
White Gino doing what he do.
Yeah. Like I said, Baker didn't have a terribly great game. I mean, he threw 2 picks. He got sacked 4 times. He got injured, but he did what he had to do. And I mean, if we're being honest, Bucky Irving is probably the main reason why they won this game. He had 152 yards rushing and a touchdown. He had a great game.
I didn't know they had Sterling Shepard.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh shit. when he had a couple catches, I was like, oh man, all right.
I actually think the Panthers got robbed on that what I think should have been a touchdown by Adam Thielen in the back of the end zone. But they didn't have the right camera angle to They called it an incomplete pass. He kind of bobbled it, and he grabbed it, and he got his shin and his elbow in, but they didn't have an angle
to see if he's in bounds.
No, they had the angle to see that he was in bounds, but they didn't have an angle to prove that he still had control of the ball.
Okay.
But I kind of think he did. I thought the Panthers got shafted on that one for sure.
If only there were a way.
Yeah, if only there weren't 5,000 cameras.
If only there were a way.
Anyway, so the Bucs win, puts them in a tie with the Falcons for the NFC South division lead. We have the edge because we beat the Bucs twice. But the Bucs apparently have the third easiest schedule for the rest of the season.
After us, right?
And then we do not have the. I mean, like, we got to go play the Vikings, which I'm not excited about that at all. So I don't know. I mean, the Falcons. I don't hate the Falcons. I just know them. You know what I mean? I just know who they are, and this is what they do. The Falcons are going to falcon. This is their slow-moving version of 28-3, where they're just going to have like a commanding lead over the division, and they're just going to let it slip away.
But they are who we thought they were.
Let's move on to the bird battle.
Yes, on to the bird battle. I was shocked when I saw the score. I watched. I was only able to see the highlights of this one.
I watched the first half, and to be honest, the first quarter kind of looked like, okay, the Ravens are going to run away with this. And then after the first quarter, you could feel that the Eagles had started to adjust. And I went to bed feeling like the Eagles were definitely going to win this football game.
Oh, wow.
Now, obviously, it was closer than I'm suggesting. And it was kind of, it was a hard-fought battle. Obviously, 24-19, they get the win.
Might be a Super Bowl preview.
Could be. Saquon Barkley touchdown was kind of the big difference.
Yeah.
He had a good day, 107 yards and a touchdown. Whereas Derrick Henry had a decent day. Wasn't great.
His first game without a touchdown, huh?
I think it's his second. I don't think he got one. There was another game, either last week or the week before. It was the first. I can't remember. But that touchdown pass from Lamar Jackson to Mark Andrews was filthy. It was like a dart.
Yeah, up high.
And I was like, how many quarterbacks throw that pass? You know what I mean? It's like,
and he bullied it too when he got it. Like his celebration was like, "Look what I got!"
Yeah. I mean, this is two great football teams going at it.
Yeah, fun.
And like you said, I would sign up for this bird battle as the Super Bowl for sure.
You know what? Sometimes I look at Jalen Hurts and I'm just not that impressed, man.
Yeah. Also,
like he takes sacks. Like he takes weird sacks.
Another interesting point that happened in the I think it was in the second quarter. They scored on the tush push.
Oh yeah, that was a bad call.
Couple of things happened. One, the snap was all jacked up.
Yep, it was a false start.
Two, there were like at least one, maybe two guys on the left side of the offensive line who went before the ball was even snapped.
Yeah.
Hurts fumbles the snap because it's an awkward snap. Yeah. He picks it up and he reaches over. I was like, what do we do? Like, that should not have been a touchdown.
Refs shouldn't be so confused all the goddamn time. It feels like every game there's some confusion. And tush push is a new phenomenon or whatever, but they got to get it.
Yeah, but that was the thing I was going to argue. It's not like it's new. They do it every fucking game.
I know. I mean, like,
it's not like, oh my God, what are they doing? Is this some kind of weird trick play? It's like, no, we've seen this. Like,
yes, that's true. This is the third year that we've seen it. They should be looking for everything, especially like last year when they were focusing on this play so much with the linemen being lined up off sides, and I think that's why they've been focusing too on that head to the waist and all that stuff. So they should have been all over that, man. Especially a false start. The guy behind the quarterback, that's your job to call that shit. The dudes on the side, they see it too. It's like you got two angles, and all of y'all missed that shit.
The other issue that the Ravens are dealing with. Justin Tucker.
Yeah.
Justin Tucker missed 2 field goals in this game, and he fucking doinked an extra point. They win this ball game if he hits those. I mean, it's just weird to see. The same thing is happening with Younghoe Koo too. There's like a couple of kickers who've just like all of a sudden got the fucking yips out of nowhere. I don't know what's going on. I mean, that's not a situation you want to have as you're marching into the playoffs.
When every point matters and all of that, yeah.
It's such a big deal.
Yeah. Speaking of big deals, Brock Purdy throwing for 94 yards. Is that a big deal?
Not really.
It was a nasty game though, as far as the weather. And Josh Allen only threw for 148. But the play of the game was that fucking pitchback. Throws the ball to wide receiver, and he just like impromptu, and you can see his forward momentum was about to blow the whistle, and he's just like, no, not yet. Pitches it back to Allen, and that's like a nightmare for everybody trying to go make that tackle in the cold weather, snow, and all of that stuff. And then the fans, as I hate the Bills, them going wild like that, it's fun. Like Bills fans deserve they're not gonna get it, but they deserve a championship.
Yeah, I mean, this was like the scenes before the game started. They were showing all the video of the snow that they're trying to clear off the field. It was gorgeous. You knew that was going to be great. You also knew there wasn't going to be a lot of throwing the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
But the fact that Josh Allen gets credit on that play for both throwing and scoring a touchdown. Such a weird stat line.
That's a good point.
Sad news for the 49ers. I assume Christian McCaffrey is done for the year. He left this game with a knee injury. Damn. There's not a lot of time left in the year for people to be having knee injuries. No. And it's looking less and less likely that the 49ers are going to make the playoffs. So, rough year for those guys.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me?
Hell of a game from a man, former Bulldog James Cook.
Yeah.
107 yards and a touchdown. I had a feeling he was going to go off in the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the Bills march on, and I believe that winning this game, they officially clinch the division.
Probably.
So they can
really fall apart.
No. I think it's it's
over.
done.
Okay. Good.
It's over.
Good. Get over.
So that's kind of fascinating.
Oh yeah, because if we won out and they lose out, they still got the tiebreaker.
I mean, how do you manage your squad knowing you've clinched the division and you've got 4?
They can still win the AFC.
That's true. They want to do
that.
They're
running for the 1 seed. Imagine
That's
trying
true.
to go through Buffalo. If Kansas City got to go through Buffalo.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So they got something to play for.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your MVP?
I'm going to go with Cowboys linebacker DeMarvion Overshown.
Oh, he's like one of my new favorite players, man.
Hell of a performance.
Yeah.
And easily the play of the day on Thanksgiving. Blows up that block from Singletary. Just blasts him off the spot, right? Yeah. Gets his hand up. Drew Lock's all up in Drew Lock's punchable face. Bats the ball to himself. And then just, just kind of walks into the end zone for the pick six. I thought that was a dope ass play. Yeah. He also had a ton of tackles. He had a fumble recovery in this game too. So yeah, not a good football team, but I really, really enjoyed it. He was the only thing in this game that I thought was really fun to watch. Week 13, Thanksgiving Day, Overshown.
You the real MVP.
My bad, I accidentally hit that one.
No, but that's where I was headed. So it's all good.
He came on my radar like 3 games ago. And I was like, who was that on the other side of Micah Parsons? Because we've had a pod crush on Micah Parsons since he came out of the league, out of Penn State. But then on the other side, Overshown is out here. I think it might be that Zimmer defense. You know how like the Eagles are. They got Fangio, and now it's like sinking in. Last year, second half of the season, the Flores defense sinking in, and it feels like that's what's happening right now in Dallas. And Overshown is really overshowing us what he's all about.
I have always liked Micah Parsons as in the same way that you have, but can I say that there's one thing that's starting to give me the ick?
What's that?
Players on bad teams who have podcasts.
Oh, okay. What's that?
I'm tired of this. Micah Parsons has this fucking podcast where he comes on every week and talks about the game.
Let me subscribe to this.
Who else? There's some other guy. Debo's doing this now too.
No,
I'm tired of all these players having in-season podcasts. I'm out on this.
It's a cash
I don't want
grab,
this
though.
anymore. I'm out.
It's a cash grab.
You got plenty of time in the off season to talk about shit. I don't want to hear about you. I don't want to hear it. I'm not here for it.
Yeah. But now, like all of these viral things too, people are fascinated with like what goes on behind the scenes. Somebody's friend is trying to make some cash and producing that shit.
Yeah, I'm over it. I'm out.
My real MVP is Rainbow MF and Russ. Steelers have somehow unlocked Mr. Unlimited, who turned back the clock for the most dynamic quarterback performance of the week. Rainbow Russ was cooking more than leftovers on Sunday night against a Bengals team that seemed to be unstoppable. But that didn't matter to Rainbow Russ, who went 29 for 38, 414 yards and 3 tutties. He got Pickens motivated and the team believing. The Steelers are somehow kind of scary, winning in so many different ways. And on Sunday, it was up to Rainbow Russ to win the game for him. So Russ, in my opinion,
you the real MVP.
Nice.
My trash this week is no surprise. Even though there was a honorable mention or whatever, but the solidified trash of the week, Matt Eberflus. He proved to us all that he was a bad coach. We said before the season he shouldn't have gotten hired again or brought back, and the Bears gambled on it, thinking they had their special quarterback, and they ended up with a special ed coach who couldn't figure it out, and Eberflus just looking really bad, deer in the headlights at the worst possible time when you got a chance to upset a team who's used to losing on Thanksgiving Day. It's a rival team. You suck against rivals, and you go in there and just stare at the camera. Look right into the camera instead of looking at the referee ready to call the timeout that you have. Took a timeout to the end of the game in a loss. It's just horrible. He should have got fired before he even walked off the sidelines. In the words of Charles Barkley.
That's terrible.
And I think because of that, it solidified it. Matt Eberflus, as we all know now.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me?
And that button is right next to.
You are trash!
Yeah. Well deserved.
Yeah.
I figured you were going to pick that one. So I went another direction with my trash. I'm going to go with Tom Brady.
Oh.
I'm going to go with Tom Brady for talking shit about Daniel Jones during the Cowboys-Giants game.
Okay.
He was talking shit about Daniel Jones for requesting a release from the Giants. This motherfucker was out here waxing idiotically about his own pro career and how he was always there for his teammates. He quickly realized that argument wasn't very relevant because it's not like he ever had to deal with anything like that. Right? And then he shifted to talking about his time at Michigan, where he struggled to win the starting job there, fighting for the number one spot. But he failed to remind everyone that this was a time in college football where, the transfer portal was not really a thing. You know what I mean? Like now you can just fucking switch teams and just go play. Right. Yeah. And I don't know. It was just kind of a gross argument that he was making. I was like, you are not the person that needs to be talking about this. It was like, you don't have any idea what this is like. And it's not like Jones didn't quit on the Giants. The Giants quit on him.
Yeah. He's supposed to just sit there?
Exactly. And this is a man who's just like, whatever, you say what you want about Daniel Jones, but it's like, it's his career. Let the man live his fucking life. Like, you got to have Tom Brady fucking talking shit about you on Thanksgiving Day in the broadcast.
Yeah.
I was like, this is gross.
Yeah. He's
I
horrible
immediately,
ugh.
when I was watching the game, I immediately opened up my computer and was like, this is my trash for the week. And I woke up the next day and there were like 10 articles all over the internet. Oh my God, Tom Brady talking shit about Daniel Jones. I was like, yes, thank you.
Were they saying he was wrong?
Yeah, they were saying he was wrong.
Oh, good.
My argument is that Brady has never had to deal with anything like this ever in his entire career.
Exactly.
And he needs to keep Daniel Jones out of his fucking mouth. So fuck Tom Brady. You're trash.
You are trash.
Shit got learned. You got anything?
I learned that the Atlanta Falcons can't walk and chew gum at the same time. For the first half of the year, we had the offense humming because the only way we could win games was to put up enough points to overcome how bad our defense was playing. But for some reason, now that the defense is playing well, the offense can't play for shit. I don't know. It's who we are.
My shit got learned is that the best home field advantage is now a warm weather team going up against a cold weather team late in the year. It used to be crowd, got crazy fans and it makes it uncomfortable for the teams. But nowadays you can do stuff to mitigate crowd noise. They got these silent snaps. They got these the guard being able to get the whole line going with putting his arm out that they do. Lifting the foot, all of these things that you could do so crowd noise is less of a distraction than it used to be. But there's nothing that takes the place of taking hits in -degree weather when you're used to palm trees and water breaks and hot sidelines. It's a different thing. And it was proof when San Francisco comes out there trying to go up against Buffalo, and you could see them trying to get their footing as they're going around the corner and can't get that edge set anymore, or the Dolphins players looking rattled as they're trying to keep their bones warm in Green Bay in 27-degree weather Fahrenheit instead of 27 degrees Celsius that they're used to. So that was my shit got learned, man. And my spec, we're gonna put some spec on somebody.
Look at you.
Yo, I'm putting spec on motherfucking Mac Jones, man. First off, thoughts and prayers to Trevor Lawrence, who got hit illegally by Azeez Al-Shahir, one of those plays that the league tries to avoid. Nobody wants to see it. I hope Shahir gets suspended. It was a trash-ass play, and it was even more trash how he acted afterwards, because you got to understand the other team's going to be mad when you laid their quarterback out like that. He's going stiff on the ground, but then you want to fight these guys for getting mad at you? Bruh, de-escalate. And when that happened, I got ready for some standard Mac Jones bloopers, because that's what Return of the Mac is. He's going to be giving you some fun. Some goofy stuff, but he was still goofy. He's still Mac Jones, but he had some pretty good throws. He overthrew a sure touchdown that might have put the team ahead for the victory, for the upset. But he was still wheeling and dealing once he got settled in. The stat line: 20 for 32, 235 yards, 2 tutties is nothing to sniff at. So at the very least, it demands some respect, and that leaves our man Mac Jones telling me specifically,
Put some respect on my name,
because I'm a hater.
I'm going with Rainbow Russ for some spec.
Oh, yeah.
This dude with the fucking moonballs in the bucket.
Hold on, Skip. I'm sorry to interrupt you, man. I feel like whenever you say Rainbow Russ, we need like a sound. But I can't find it. There's supposed to be something. No, that's not it. Dang, it's gone now. They had like the glockenspiel sound. Every time you say Rainbow Rush, I want to hit that sound, man. But it's gone.
Yeah, that's what there should be a sound for that rainbow throw that
I'll
just
get
drops.
I'll get it in the soundboard.
I just think that he's like, 2 years ago in Denver, they had us thinking that Russ was cooked, but
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Unlimited found himself a new kitchen. And he's out here serving up something special week after week. Like you said, 29 for 38, 414, 3 tutties. Just put an absolute tranquilizer dart in the division rival Bengals and sent them off to the land of irrelevance. I mean, it's really impressive to watch. Got to put some spec on that man's name.
Yes, I'm over here trying to find that glockenspiel sound.
Put some respect on my name.
I was close too, man. I almost had it. All right, that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, scariest teams. My scariest AFC team. Oh shit, what happened here?
Oh, weird. I didn't know that was a thing.
Some movements you do is what makes them. I don't know. It's a weird program we have here. But what's going on? I didn't turn that on. Oh Lord, we got skipped.
Oh, it's raining all of a sudden. I don't know what's
Oh my
happening.
gosh, what's going on? Cold weather. Talk about cold weather teams. Starts to rain. Those of you watching, you'll get what I'm saying. All right, scariest team. It's tough, man. I want to say the Bills, but I feel like the Steelers are more versatile. But I don't know. Scariest team's probably the Bills. I'm more scared of Josh Allen than Russell Wilson. So Rainbow Russ.
Yeah, I didn't even think I wrote Steelers, but yeah, you make a good point. It is kind of a coin toss between those two, I think.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I feel
NFC, it's got to be the Lions, still.
Yeah, the Lions. The Eagles. The Eagles are tough, man.
Yeah, the Eagles are looking good.
Yeah.
The Eagles are looking good.
And there's, I mean, it might be the Eagles versus Rainbow Russ.
Was that it?
I just found a Glock.
I was like, that's what you're looking for?
No, I wanted to like roll it across, but I couldn't preview the sound, so I did what I could, man. So for now, that's the Rainbow Russ sound of last week. Next week, we're gonna start a new series called the Rainbow Russ Sound of the Week. Until we find the perfect Rainbow Russ sound, we'll be looking every week. That's something that y'all can look out for.
That's hilarious.
That's our new thing, man. Our new game is going to be the Rainbow Russ of the Week. Oh, there's the horns. And when you hear that horn, that means either you heard something spectacular or something fantastic is on the way. It's been the latest episode of SveNFL. Thanks for listening, man. It's been Jonathan Rollins.
Skif Misara.
With SveNFL. Peace.
Later, y'all.